So today we will see how we can communicate designs orally and in writing. So the learning objective for today's class is how can a design be communicated through oral presentation or technical reports efficiently. So this is more about presentation skills. Uh, what makes a good presentation for a design? So the design already we have completed using the design thinking approach or the general outline of design process. So the design of a product is ready right now. So now communicating the design through oral presentation. So we make a presentation. So we means the design team will have to make presentations. Sometimes, not sometimes, definitely the design team will also have to prepare the reports. The students usually make presentations. You will have seminar presentation, you will have project presentation, so mini project presentation. Also for a seminar, mini project or project, you will prepare the reports. So the same way, the principle, so or what makes a good presentation or what makes a technical presentation, what makes a technical report the better or the best, the rules remains more or less the same for every report or every presentation. So here, only difference is the context is design. So design team, they are working. So internally, they are working on the design and they complete the design and they have to make presentation before the clients, isn't it? So we complete the design. So to take a feedback on whatever we are working on, we need to make presentation before the clients, or sometimes internally within the organization, within the company, within the design team. So we need to have design reviews, isn't it? We have started the design some time back. Right now, what is the status? So we need to have some technical review, and there we need to make presentations. And at the end, we need to prepare the reports. The design team will prepare the report, and that report, definitely will have some flow, logical flow, introduction, then the various objectives and the design constraints, design functions, design output, and some drawings like sketches, drawings, all those things, and finally conclusion. What is the outcome? Outcome is this particular design, and this design document, what we will do, we will give to the manufacturing section, and they will work on this, and they will prepare their prototype or actual working model of this product based on our design. So that is the objective of today's class. So it is nothing difficult, like you can easily understand some details. You can go through the slides, and last class I shared the textbook also. You can go through that textbook. That is even the contents of this PPT are taken from that textbook only. That's a very good textbook for, especially for this third module, design communication. So remember, the objective of today's class is what makes a good oral presentation and what makes a good technical report, or what are the components, what are the things that we should be careful about while making a presentation, a technical presentation, and while preparing a technical report. Okay, in the design context, in the design engineering, or when the design engineering, when the design engineers, when they make the oral presentation or when they make the technical report, what are the things to be careful about? So let's move on. Reporting is an essential part of a design project. If we have not communicated our work and findings to our clients and to other stakeholders, then we have not completed our project. So we communicate, we means design team, communicate final design results in several ways, including oral presentations, final reports, or prototypes and models. The primary purpose of such communication is to inform our client about the design, as I told, including explanation of how and why this design was chosen over competing, because we had many alternatives, and why did we choose this particular design, and what was the positive sides of this design, and also during the review meeting in the team. So that would more or less like a self-criticism. We will analyze the positive side and negative side of the design. We will have some criticism. We will have internal evaluation. There also we will have to present some general guidelines for technical communication. So technical communication means it means presentation, oral presentation, as well as technical reports. Both apply to writing reports and also giving oral presentations. So Thomas Pearsall is a person who summarized these common concepts as he coined them as 7 principles of technical writing. But even though they are pertaining to technical writing, but they can be applied generally to all technical communication, including oral presentation. So let us see What are the 7 principles? First one, know your purpose. You have to know the purpose. Like, what is the purpose of making this presentation? What is the purpose of making this report? Purpose is, I am discussing with the clients. I want my clients to know what is the design, what are the design alternatives I considered, what are the design constraints I considered, and what is the final design I chose, and how I go ahead, isn't it? So know the purpose. Then know your audience, isn't it? So when I make a presentation right now, I am making a presentation here and in front of you, and I know you are the third semester students, and so likewise, when I make a presentation, when I am a part of a design team, I should know, like, who are the audience. Are they clients, or are they manufacturing section, or are they marketing section, or are they some other section, like this one with carrying goods and all? Like, you have design, you have the design ready. Now they will manufacture, and they need to be transported from one location to another location, isn't it? So those team, and that is the second point, know your audience. Third one, choose and organize the content around your purpose and audience. Right now, purpose is ready. I want my audience to know this particular event, this particular aspect. So accordingly, I need to prepare my content, and I know the audience. Like, why, I know what is the technical knowledge, what is the background, and what do they want to know, isn't it? So that is what knowing the audience means. That also, what do they want to know? So accordingly, I can prepare my content. Then fourth one, write precisely and clearly. So when you make a report, you have to write precisely, clearly, with precision and clarity, isn't it? So when you make a presentation also, you need to speak clearly. You need to articulate your sentences clearly, your statements clearly, isn't it? Fifth one, design your pages well. Yes, you should design your pages well. You should design your PPT well. You should design your reports well. Designing reports well means what? It should have a certain structure, introduction, then what is objective, what is the constraint, what is the function, what is the final layout, what is the architectural diagram, what is the layout diagram, what is the assembly diagram, isn't it? What is the sketch that we have taking forward. So design your pages well. Sixth one, think visually. Design engineering is more about imagination, visualization. So when you make a presentation, you should think visually, like how they will, how my audience will think. So accordingly, I should use design. I should use diagram. I can use drawings. I can use sketches. I can use animations. I can use some 3D softwares, isn't it? That will help the understanding of the audience. Write ethically. That's the last point. So write ethically. That also means speak ethically, because even though these 7 principles are known as the 7 cardinal principles of effective writing, this is more or less applied to effective communication. So it is equally applicable to presentation as well as report writing. So write ethically means you need, whenever you write, like now we prepare the design document. So write ethically means we should not hide or suppress unfavorable facts. So disadvantages of the design. So there will be some demerits for the design. So those demerits also we should discuss. We should tell them. We should invite discussion on them also. Or so that is, or when we make a presentation, also same thing. No, you should speak ethically. We should not hide some unpleasant facts, or we should not we should give due credits to others, because I may be modifying an already existing design. Right now there is a mobile phone architecture, so I may be designing a mobile phone that may be an extension of the previous one. So which is the extension? Who is the owner of that particular model which I am extending? So I must quote that. I must give due credit to that design or the work which has carried out my predecessor in this area, so that I can go ahead, I can move forward, I can modify his design. So I must say, so and so person, so and so company has designed a particular model, and I have designed a particular algorithm, and I am modifying that. So that is the ethical part of speaking and writing. So remember, these are the 7 principles. These are the 7 concepts and 7 principles of technical communication. Okay, even though write ethically, when it's written write ethically, remember, right means,
sir.
Yes.
Deekshithine join ആക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല പറഞ്ഞായിരുന്നു.
ആർക്കാണ്?
Deekshith.
What's the problem?
കേറാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അഡ്മിറ്റ് ആക്കുന്നില്ല.
Okay, let me ask him to try once again. I'll admit because it's automatically admitting, no? Okay, so this is explanation of these things. Know your purpose. No purpose. I told this. You can read. Know your audience. What is the technical level of the target audience? What is their interest in the design? Then choose and organize the content. Select and organize this content so that it will reach its intended audience and their process by which the design team selected alternative. Sometimes we will have to explain that as well. So write precisely and clearly. So short paragraphs. Precision and clarity. If you use short paragraphs, that's the general rule of thumb. Short paragraphs if you use that have a single common topic. So that means you have 3 concepts to explain. So better you form 3 paragraphs. 1 paragraph each explaining one particular aspect. Or direct sentences. Instead of using indirect language, use direct sentence, active voice, and action verbs would probably contribute to better understanding. Opinions or viewpoints should be clearly identified and written. So design your page as well. So you should use headings, subheadings, different fonts, and underlining. If you want to highlight something, you can use different font style and a different style of preparing. Underlining you can use a long section divided into several subsections, and that sustains the interest of the clients throughout this process. Selecting fonts to highlight key elements. Table should be treated as a single figure and it should not be split over different pages. If you have one table, if you want to display a table, as far as possible, try to include that page on a single page. Using fonts that are large enough for the entire audience to see. When I'm making a presentation, the font should be clearly visible. Think visually. So design is all about visual thinking. So you must include sketches, circuit diagrams, graphics, such as objective trees, which we studied in earlier classes. Objective tree, detailed drawing, assembly drawings, or flowcharts and cartoons. That also can be included, which will help the audience, which will help the people understand more. Tables represents the critical facts or data. So some balancing is required between this animation, between the graphics, and between the real facts, isn't it? It should not, seduce them to clouding their slides. And we should not, overcrowd our slides with these graphics and other stuff, so that the actual facts and figures are suppressed. It should not be the case. So there is a balancing. How much graphics we can use, how much animation we can use. There is a balancing required. The key to success is to know your purpose and your audience and to use your medium accordingly. So write ethically. Even you should discuss the facts which are not favorable, as I told. You should give full credit to authors or previous researchers. So these are all the general aspects of presentation. Now a little bit about oral presentations. So we'll have to make oral presentation, as I pointed out in the beginning. During the project, the team may be called to present their understanding of the project. And after a design alternative has been selected, the team is asked to, sometimes the team may be asked to undertake a design review, isn't it, before the technical audience to assess the design, identify possible problems, and suggest alternate solutions or approaches. And also at the end of a project, design teams usually will report on the overall project to the client and to other stakeholders. So these are the cases where we'll have to do before the beginning and during the process, during the design, and at the end of the project, we'll have to make oral presentations. So there are key elements for any presentation that includes, as we suggested earlier, identify the audience, outline the presentation, develop appropriate supporting materials. Supporting materials means we need to have enough proof. We need to have enough data, because I am making a claim that this design is better. So I must support my claim with details, with the documents, with proof, and practice the presentation. Of course, practice makes somebody perfect. So knowing the audience, this is general, knowing the audience who is listening. Sometimes consider the design of a new water bottle. So who is the audience? Is it the logistic managers who are interested in transporting? Who is the marketing department? Or is it the manufacturing department who will work on this, who will manufacture it? So the different audience will have varying levels of interest, and they will have varying levels of understanding, and their technical knowledge will be different. So available time also will be different, isn't it? Accordingly, I must prepare my presentation or report. So we must tailor the presentation according to the requirements of the audience. And the first step is to articulate a rough outline. The second is to formulate a detailed outline. So whenever we make a presentation, so we should have a rough outline initially, then we have a detailed outline, then supporting materials we should have, and the proper visual aids and physical models we should have. So presentation outline, A sample presentation outline would include the following elements: a title slide. This is generally, true for every presentation. Every presentation should have a title slide, a roadmap for the presentation. We should have a problem statement. We discussed what is problem statement, background material on the problem, the key objectives of the client and users, the key constraints, design constraints, functions that the design must perform, design functions, design alternatives, highlights of the evaluation procedure and outcomes, the selected design, why we have selected a particular design, and features of the design, proof of concept testing, and demonstration of the prototype if possible, and finally conclusions, including the identification of any future work that remains to be done or suggested improvements to the design. These are all the general, guidelines how we can make a good presentation, design presentation. Once a rough outline has been articulated, we should also develop a detailed outline of the presentation. Third point is presentation are visual events. So we should know the setting in which the presentation will be made. When we make a presentation, what devices, where I am making the presentation, which room, isn't it? What are the devices available? Am I provided with overhead projector? Am I provided with computer connections, projectors, whiteboards? So accordingly, I can plan my presentation. So and also the size and capacity of the room where I'm making a presentation, and the lighting, seating, and other factors of the presentation venue, because presentations are visual events. There are other tips and pointers. Limit the number of slides. Obviously, you'll have to limit the number of slides according to the time available. Probably you can cover 1 or 2 slides per minute. And be sure to introduce yourself and your team members on the title slide. Is that you should take care of. And you should also give a brief introduction, a brief description of the project. And also, if you want to acknowledge the clients who have given you your order, because you are running the company and some clients have given you the order. So you can acknowledge the clients also. So make points clearly, directly, and simply. Use color skillfully. Use animation appropriately. Consider carefully the size and distance of the audience if you are including images or design drawings. Practice makes perfect. So speakers typically need to practice their parts in presentation alone or in front of others. Initially, you can practice alone, or then you can in front of the team members you can practice. And you should use your words and phrases in your presentation, and that should be natural to the speaker. It should not look artificial, isn't it? So you should have a natural flow, and you should maintain a professional tone. And timing the presentation is quite important. What is the available time? Accordingly, I should not move either too fast or too slow, isn't it? You can probably use a clock in front. That would be very useful. The team should always decide in advance how to handle. Yes, there is another aspect, especially when we present a design of a product, and definitely a lot of questions will be coming up, probably from the teammates and probably from the clients, isn't it? All the members in the audience probably will have some interest in the presentation, and they will have a lot of questions. So how to handle this question? Because question answering session is an important part of a presentation. Even if you present wonderfully well, and at the end, the 10 minutes where you are supposed to interact with the audience, it was not up to the mark or standard, then that affects the overall presentation. So some plan you should have, in advance. What is your plan of handling the question? So you can defer the questions to the end of the talk. You can postpone all the questions. Then you can answer them as and when they ask the questions, or limit those questions which directly pertain to the clarification of facts that you can handle during the presentation, and defer the remaining question till the end of the presentation. That is also possible. So there are 3 methods of handling questions. You can defer all the questions to the end, or you can answer as and when they come up, or you can selectively answer questions, and the remaining questions you can postpone till the end of the question. But whatever the method you are going to adopt, that should be clear to the audience. The audience should be told of that choice at the start of the presentation. So while practicing a presentation, a team can prepare the questions from the audience. How can we anticipate questions? Generating a list of questions that might arise, and preparing supporting materials. Whenever we find a question, now this might be a relevant question from the client side, what we should do, we should prepare supporting materials. And sometimes, even saying I don't know, or we did not consider that particular aspect in the design is quite, okay, because sometimes credibility is more important. Not sometimes, always credibility is more important, because we should not pretend that we know everything, and we or the audience should not feel that we are trying to hide something from them. So that affects our credibility and trustworthiness. So we should not do that. So sometimes we can be openly say that I don't know, we do not consider that as that fact in our design. So the project, yeah, that was all about presentation. So that was all about how to make a good presentation, and what are the aspects you should consider while making a good presentation, all those things. Now you can consider the report writing, isn't it? A clear presentation of the design problem. What are the things that you should include in the report? A clear presentation of the design problem, the alternatives considered, the basis on which the decisions were made, and of course the decisions that were taken. So you should use a clear, understandable language throughout your report. Highly detailed or technical materials are often placed in appendices. You can use appendix or appendices so that highly complicated or highly technical details which are not relevant for most of the audience, isn't it? You prepare a report, and those things which are not usually required can be put as appendices, and only those people, those clients, those people, those audience who are interested in knowing those particular details can look into appendixes. So that is one way of making a good report. So a structured approach might be followed while preparing a report. So what is that making a structured process? So you should determine the purpose and the audience of the technical report. Ask for a technical presentation, technical oral presentation. Here also determining the purpose and audience of the technical report. Who are going to read this report, isn't it? What is the purpose of making this report? What is that I'm trying to convey through this report? Construct a rough outline of the overall structure, and then review the rough outline. That is not in a bold font, because first step, second step, important step, then third step is connected to the second step. That is why I have not used bold font there in the third step. Review the rough outline which you have prepared in the second stage, and review that with the team and with the team's managers. So in case of an academic project, you have to discuss with the faculty. Then fourth one is important, construct a topic sentence outline, TSO. That may be a new term for all of you. Topic sentence outline, what does that mean is, suppose you want to highlight three design functions, three topics, 3 points, and 3 topics you can describe as 3 paragraphs. So every paragraph, or first paragraph discusses the first point. So that is the topic sentence for first paragraph. Second paragraph discusses the second point. So that is the second topic sentence for the second paragraph. Third paragraph discusses the third point or third aspect of the design. That is the topic sentence of the third paragraph. So topic sentence is the sentence which has the feeling, which has the theme, which conveys the theme. That particular sentence conveys a particular theme. Here we talks about the hardware requirements of the project. Here we discuss the software requirements. So in that particular paragraph, you discuss about the hardware requirements. In that particular, in another paragraph, you talk about the software requirements, isn't it? Or here we discuss the design constraints. So in that particular paragraph, you only talk about design constraints, not design functions or design tasks. So that is a topic sentence outline. Is that clear? Topic sentence outline? All of you, is that clear? What is topic sentence outline? Then distribute the individual writing assignments and assemble, write, and edit an initial draft. Initial draft of the report you will prepare, and then you solicit reviews of the initial draft from the managers and advisors. Then revise. You will have to revise based on your feedback, and then you prepare the final version of the report and present it to the client. So this is an expansion. This is an explanation of the individual points. The purpose of the audience for the final report should be clear. Rough outline. So major sections in the report, when you prepare the rough outline, you can have abstract, you can have executive summary, isn't it? You can have introduction and overview, problem statement, design alternatives considered, evaluation of design alternatives, results of the alternative analysis and design selection, supporting materials, drawings and details, fabrication specification, supporting calculations, and any other material that the client might be interested in. Those details also you can include, and this contributes to the major sections in the report. Thereby, we will have a rough outline. So this is a rough outline. Then you need to expand each of them. After identifying the abstract section, you work on that particular section and prepare abstract. Then you have execute summary, you prepare the executive summary. Then you prepare the introduction, all those things. So it might look like a table of contents. Yes, it is a table of contents because a final report of an engineering design project must be organized so that reader can go to a particular section. Because I want to know the design, I want to know the drawing. So definitely it should look like a table of content, and I must be able to go into the relevant topic which I would like to check in or and inspect in details. Okay. The topic sentence outline, I told you, every single paragraph of a piece should have a topic sentence that indicates that paragraph's intent. So this topic is identified by an entry in that topic sentence outline. So we can assume that there is a paragraph in which that particular topic is covered. Then we prepare the draft, first draft. One advantage of a rough outline and a topic sentence outline is that their structure allows team members to write in parallel or simultaneously. Because after identifying the table of contents, we the design team can work individually on parallel topics, isn't it? It need not be sequential, that one writes abstract, then goes to executive summary, then goes to introduction. It can be three members. They can parallelly work on. One can work on abstract, one can work on executive summary, one can work on introduction. But what is the key point here? Combining the efforts of several writers, because the design team members, they are all writing parallelly. So combining the efforts of several team members into single, clear, coherent document is an important task that has to be done by an authoritative editor. One member of the team should always work as editor, and he should discharge his rights, and he should use his privileges, and he should perform his responsibilities very efficiently, because individual team members, they contribute to the different parts of the report, and the editor, the one team member who is identified, who is designated as editor, can combine and edit and make it as a single document. So what is the editor's role in the design report? Editor's role is to ensure that report flows continuously and the report is consistent, accurate, and speaks in a single voice, isn't it? So continuity means the topics and sections follow a logical sequence that reflects the structure of the ideas in the rough outline. So that is continuity. It should flow continuously. Consistency means that report uses common terminology, abbreviations, and acronyms, isn't it? Consistency means what? Acronym. We should use the same acronym everywhere, isn't it? Notation, units, similar reasoning styles, and so on. So that is what consistency means. Accuracy means calculations, experiments, measurements, or other technical work are done and reported to appropriate professional standards and current best practices. Because in the last class we studied about various standards, IEEE, or ANSI standard, or ASME standards. So accordingly, so what is the standard we are following? Such standards and practices are often specified in contracts between a design team. So what is the standard we are going to use? What is the standard we are going to use? And those things will be specified in the contracts between the client and the design team. Okay. So now we prepare the final report and ready for the final report. So the final report should be clearly organized, easy to read and understand, and its graphics or figures should be clear and it should be easily interpreted. And the report also should be of reproducible quality, isn't it? Because sometimes the report has to be photocopied and report has to be distributed within the client's organization or among other individuals and stakeholders. So the report quality should be of reproducible quality. So we should also keep in mind that a report may go to very diverse audience, not simply to peers. So accordingly, we will prepare. So in addition, an executive summary is one way to address readers who may not have the time or interest to read all of the details of the entire section, entire project. So that is what executive summary means. Executive summary, if you read the executive summary, what is that it provides? It gives an overall idea about the entire project. So a brief idea, what are the main points, main components, what is the main activity, what is the main design function, what are the positive side of the design, negative side of the design. Everything is explained briefly in the executive summary. So executive summary is one way to address readers who may not have enough time or interest to read all the details in the entire project. So finally, the final report will be read and used by clients who will adopt the team's design. So the report will be read by the report by the team, and they are going to implement this design. So it means the report, including appendices and supporting materials, is sufficiently detailed and complete to stand alone as the final documentation of the work to be done. Because at the manufacturing site, there is no designer found, because you cannot have on-the-spot doubt clarification. Design team is nowhere there in the manufacturing site or production site. So only design document is there. So design document should be clear and succinct, and it should be unambiguous with all the relevant details and supporting documents. So that way the report should be prepared. So that's all about design communication, both orally as well as in report. So I think the matter is clear to you.